this is dirty. Whoa, girl. What up, Search fam? Sharday here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sharday. I'm out here curating and co-creating a cool ass life, which includes my photographic pursuits. Whether you keep coming back or this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and become part of my internet family. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you're made aware when I post, which is twice a week. All right. Check it. The holidays just passed, and you know, some people get new camera gear for Christmas and they become beginner camera enthusiasts, photographers, whatever you want to call it. What I am going to provide you with are 5 tips that are not necessarily technical that will help you improve your photography skills. And this is for whether you are a beginner photographer or you've been doing photography for some time. I think this helps. These are things that I still continue to use as I hone my craft. Number 1, and I think this might be the most important, is you gotta find your people. Finding community within photography has been super important to my development as a photographer. When I first picked up photography over the maybe about 4 years ago now, I would go to meetups and try to get out there and meet people and photograph with them. It allowed me to just make connections, and I find that those connections are extremely helpful for just having somebody that you can talk with about photo things, models that you can potentially work with if that's the route you're going. I actually met some of my favorite models that I work with because of, you know, going to photography shootouts or meetups, which you can find out about things like that via social media, like if you hashtag or see what's going on in your city, or via things like the website Meetup. You can see if there are things going on that way as well. What I will say that it can be hairy. Sometimes the photography community can be very cutthroat and that people don't want to share resources and things like that. However, I have found a really good photography community on Facebook, and that is Tamaya Colvin Education, which has been great for me because it is mostly persons of color and it is run by a Black woman. So that gave me more resources from people who look like me, which, if you didn't know, the photography community is still working on the diversity thing. It is overwhelmingly white, overwhelmingly male, which is cool, I guess, but it doesn't help for the sort of photography that I do. And because of that, it can feel very isolating to be a photographer of color and be by yourself and not see people represented in the same ways. Things very much changed when I started hanging out with other photographers of color that were close to my age, younger, and seeing their creative process. It just has been wonderful. And to call up somebody and be like, hey, I'm thinking about this thing, want to do it? And be able to have somebody that's like, yeah, I see what the vision is, and we can make that happen. I find that the community piece becomes integral into how you are able to think about things, broadening your horizons. Like it's cool to be able to look things up on YouTube and watch people, but it's something entirely different when you can be on site with people and have conversations with somebody that's going to talk back to you. The second thing is not technical, but it is practical, and that's pick up your camera. Take it wherever you go. The more you touch your camera, the more you go out and shoot things, the more you develop an eye for the things you like, a style with how you shoot. I shoot most of my paid work on my Sony a7 III, but I also have a Fujifilm X100F, which is sort of my personal camera, my street photography camera that it's small enough to where I can put it in my bag, my daily purse or tote bag or whatever, and take it with me. And if I see something that I like, or that's something that catch my eye, I can actually take my camera out and practice and take pictures of it and like play with aperture, play with the editing, play with, you know, perspective and things like that. I really believe that the only way to really improve your skills is to pick your camera up. So go shoot something, anything. And don't be afraid, like Miss Frizzle used to say from Magic School, but
take chances, make mistakes.
Because that is literally how you will grow and improve your photographic skills. My next tip is one that is gonna cost you some money potentially, and that is education. I have said before that I believe that photography education is the thing that will help elevate your ability to do photos. And there's so many resources that are free, so many. But I think for me, especially someone who is doing photography as a career, getting education is going to improve the various steps from idea to product, that it will also help you on the backside of your business, especially if you are trying to build a business. Right now, I am in a group mentoring program that is 6 months long, and we are going through all the steps of having a photography business. I have also paid and gone to photography conferences. And what photography conferences have been super helpful for is allowing me to be exposed to various contours of photography, like different styles of photography, whether it's boudoir, which is what I do in my business, but also journalistic style photography or video making, wedding, which wedding is not my thing, but you know, I've been to courses that show wedding things, which there have been other facets of that have been helpful to what I do. So investing in some sort of education will help improve your skills because you are able to hone in on a particular topic and really go in deeply with someone who is experienced and has been in the business longer than you have, presumably. The people that I have worked with have all been in the business way longer than I have, which has been fantastic. So getting education, I would even say getting education before you pick up a new piece of gear is the way to go. Like if you're thinking about, oh, I need this new lens, I want to get this new camera body, y'all know how I feel. If you have not exhausted your capabilities with the present camera that you have, then you probably should not get a new piece of equipment. You should learn the piece of equipment that you have until it no longer works for you. But if you have the choice between a course that you can afford and a piece of equipment, I would say go with the course first and see if you can't learn a few more tricks before you think of upgrading a piece of gear. That's just my opinion personally. The next thing that I would suggest is getting clear what you want out of photography. If you're just taking pictures of your kids or the dog, or you know, occasionally going out and doing street photography, cool. Let me be very clear when I say you do not have to make photography a business. You don't have to do it for money. You could do it for the sheer enjoyment of it, and that is fine. But be clear about what you want to do with photography, because that will definitely shape your moves going forward. So if you are just a hobbyist, maybe you're cool with watching YouTube videos, learning a few things and just experimenting, and that's cool. But if you find yourself wanting to do more, like you want to be a filmmaker, you want to have a photography business, you want to try to do photography to get published in publications or whatever, then your method is going to be different. But you don't know that until you've decided, well, what do I actually want out of having this whole camera, you know, if at all. Which brings me to my last point. Don't be afraid to experiment. That is the only way that you are going to figure things out. Again, you won't improve unless you practice. You won't improve unless you make some mistakes and find out that this didn't work. It just didn't work. And I've had moments like that where I have said, I have an idea, I'm gonna try it out, set it up, and it doesn't work. Or I don't have all of the little necessary things to help execute what I am working on. But on the other hand, you can go out to a random restaurant that has neon lights and you can just practice and see what happens, and you can come out with a very cool photo. Or you can, like, The models that I work with, especially my friend Free, I love her because I can totally just shoot her a text message and be like, hey, I have this idea. And she was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And that looked like I had an idea to build a set. And so I was like, want to take pictures? And I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. And I'm gonna just bring all these things over and we're gonna see what happens. And we took the pictures, they came out fantastic, and we got published in a French magazine. So you never know. You have to be willing to be creative, to experiment and see what happens, and to be okay with things potentially going awry. But that's part of the fun to me, is that it is a grand adventure of birthing the things that run through my head, and that's really dope for me. But you know, just don't be afraid to go out there and to put yourself out there, because you never know what happens. I hope you found this helpful. If there are any other tips that are non-technical that you have for photography or videography, drop them downstairs in the comment section. As always, friends, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend about the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.